Hey guys, so today I want to talk about this book. It's called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. It's by this guy, Kamal Ravikant. And actually, I found out about it. I was reading James Altucher's book. And if you haven't checked out James Altucher and you like to read, he's a really good author too. He has a great blog. He was recently voted one of the, there were like three people voted most influential for 2015 or something. But anyway, I'm really glad I found out about this book from James Altucher. So in case maybe you're watching this, James, thanks for writing about it in your book. But I wish I knew about this book when I was really sick, um, and when I was going through some tough times because I had definitely got stuck in a lot of negative mental loops where I was just really kind of talking down on myself, and I had very negative self-talk, and I lots of times I didn't know how to get out of it. And this book actually has the way to get out of it. It's kind of a weird cover. Actually, I gave this book to some person, and they were offended by it because this it's a picture of a guy like holding a gun to his head, but it's a very positive book. It's really helped a ton of people. I gave it to a bunch of other people, and they've all actually really loved it. So if you haven't checked it out, it's a really quick read. It's like $4.99 on Amazon. It's really cheap. The Kindle version's like $2.99, and it's it's like 50 pages. So you can read this book in about an hour. And the whole premise of the book is this guy Kamal. He's I think he's some kind of Silicon Valley investor. I forget exactly. I actually it's a good reminder. I have to reread this book. I know the basic premise, but there are bits and pieces I forgot. And sorry, just had some alert pop up on my phone. But at any rate, he was going through a really tough time in his life, and he was down in the dumps, and he was actually so depressed he got sick. And I think on top of all of this, his best friend died, and he was supposed to have seen her, and he was just too depressed to meet up with her, and so he just missed out on his last chance to see his best friend. So he more or less hit rock bottom with what he was going through, and one day he woke up and he decided that he was going to love himself no matter what, and he came up with this practice where he just constantly would say to himself, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. And he would repeat it all the time, when he was taking a shower or stuck in traffic, or waiting in line at the grocery store or whatever. And at first, he was saying how he really didn't love himself. So no matter where you are, maybe right now you don't love yourself. It doesn't matter. You can still do this practice. The way the mind works, when you repeat something often enough, you have your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind picks these things up. So if you repeat this thing over and over, even if you don't love yourself, eventually your subconscious mind is going to think you love yourself, and it's going to trick you into loving yourself, which is a good thing. Sometimes it's okay to trick ourselves, if it's going to help us and have a positive outcome in the end. Okay, so he just repeated this constantly every day for like a month, and his life totally turned around. He got healthy again. He was more focused on his business again. He was able to turn it around and make it successful, and it had all these amazing benefits. And I think he shared what he did with some people, and somebody encouraged him to write a book. Actually, I think James Altucher told him to write this book, and he was just kind of concerned. But what if people think I'm weird or whatever? And James said, I don't publish anything unless I'm concerned about what people are going to think about it, something along those lines. But Kamal, I'm really glad that you published it because it's helped me out. It's helped a ton of other people, and I want to share some of the passages out of it with you. So this chapter is window. It's a one-page chapter, so it's pretty short. But Kamal says, "Darkness is the absence of light. If you remember this, it will change your life. Change mine. It is this concept that the practice is based on. Any negative thought is darkness. How do you remove it? Do you fight fear or worry? Do you push or drown away sadness and pain? Doesn't work. Instead, imagine you're in a dark room and it's bright outside. Your job is to go to the window, pull out a rag, and start cleaning. Just clean. And soon enough, light enters naturally, taking the darkness away. Pretty interesting, huh? So he started out by saying darkness is the absence of light. So you got to clean that window and let the light in. And it's that simple, reading the book again. Each time the mind shifts to darkness, fear, worry, pain, you name it, when you notice, clean the window, light will flow in. This book has so much wisdom in it. It's so simple too. That's why I love it. And I'm going to read just one more passage. So this is from the chapter Mental Loop. It's a 3-page chapter. I'm actually not going to read all of it, but I'm going to read about a page and a half. So, excuse me, Kamal says, I once heard someone explain thoughts as this. We as human beings think that we're thinking. Not true. Most of the time, we're remembering. We're reliving memories. We're running familiar patterns and loops in our head. For happiness, for procrastination, for sadness. Fears, hopes, dreams, desires. We have loops for everything. We keep replaying the loops, and they in turn trigger feelings. It's automatic to the point where we believe that we have no choice, but that is far from the truth. Imagine a thought loop as this: a pathway laid down by constant use, like a groove in rock created by water. Enough time, enough intensity, and you've got a river. If you had a thought once, it has no power over you. Repeat it again and again, especially with emotional intensity, feeling it, and over time, you're creating the grooves, the mental river. Then it controls you. And that is why focused mental loop is the solution. Take this one thought: I love myself. At emotional intensity, if you can, it deepens the groove faster than anything. Feel the thought. Run it again and again. Feel it, run it. Whether you believe it or not doesn't matter. Just focus on this one thought. Make it your truth. The goal here is to create a deep groove that the ones laid down over... The goal here is to create a groove deeper than the ones laid down over the years. The ones that created disempowering feelings. They took time as well. Some we've had since childhood. And, like I said, I could just go on reading this whole book. There's so much wisdom in it. In fact, I'm going to reread it because it's been a couple months, and I'm sure there's lots of goodies in here that I forgot. But go ahead. It's a simple practice. You don't have to say it out loud. Say it out loud, like in the shower when people aren't around. I don't recommend doing it in public. You'll get some weird looks. If you want to, go ahead. You won't get arrested for it. But say it if you're stuck in some boring meeting at work. Just repeat it to yourself in your head. Or if you're stuck in line at the grocery store. I'm very impatient, so I'll break out the mantra when I get stuck in a situation where I start to feel impatient, or anytime I get, I still have negative thoughts pop in my head. Not like I did before. It's a lot better. But now I have an easy solution that I use when they pop in my head. So try it out and let me know what it does for you. I want to hear about the positive results from this. And if it doesn't work, let me know too. I would be kind of surprised if it didn't. But try it out. It may not work after the first day. It might take a couple days. It took Kamal nearly a month to really turn things around. So stick with it. Make it a habit. At first, maybe create some calendar reminders so you don't forget. But after you do it a couple days, it'll just become a habit, and maybe just have a reminder every 2 weeks or every month, just in case you kind of slip out of that habit, and replace it with a different habit. So give it a try. I hope you get some great benefits out of it, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.